Monster Jam fans, welcome out to Jacksonville. This is TIAA Bank Field as Monster Jam roars into its second stop here in the great Sunshine State of Florida. Last weekend we had the pleasure of going to Orlando, Florida for Monster Jam, but tonight we are in one of the most iconic homes of Monster Jam right here in Jacksonville. The trucks are coming onto the track right now and are ready to rumble here with 12 Monster Jam beats ready to show off in front of this small, socially distanced crowd on a muddy, wet track. You can see it from here. That is not light on the dirt. That is light reflecting off of water. So the first muddy show of the year, it's not that muddy. It just rained a lot earlier in the day. It is no longer raining. They did whatever they could to try and dry the track down, but that's not really going to do much. It is still going to be a slick track tonight and ought to be an interesting event for the first really slippery show of the year. Now, unfortunately for this first Jacksonville show, there is no footage anywhere for the skills competition. Like, when I say no footage, I mean I have not seen a drop of footage on Instagram. There is not a drop of it on YouTube. I mean, Monster Jam Lord has it, but we have had a mutual agreement that we do not use each other's videos for stuff, so I can't. There's no footage of the skills competition. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to just go with racing and freestyle. I'll tell you who the skills competition winner was after racing. So we start off round number one of racing here. The first matchup of the night, we have Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl in the near lane. In the far lane is Jim Kohler in Avenger. Avenger with another beautiful body. He is rocking that water Avenger body that he used in the World Finals. This track is going to be slick tonight here in the racing competition. Lots of sand on the track to try and make it smoother. As you can see that beautiful Avenger body right there. But these guys are kind of slipping around the track. Cole Vennard seems to have a small lead going to the final turn, but it is going to be a matter of who is the smoothest. And for that race, it is Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl. Now the next race here in round number one, this is Barry Musauer and Zombie and Lindsey Reed in Scooby-Doo. Monster Jam's appearance here in Jacksonville, one of two shows that takes place here in this weekend. The other commentary you'll be seeing Sunday night. So no commentary tomorrow on Saturday. Not going to have the time to do it tomorrow, but it will be there on Sunday as Barry Musauer pulls home a first round win, and Lindsey Reed cannot quite get the victory there. Now we continue with round one action in the near lane. It's Ryan Anderson in the Dragonoid taking on Tom Manson. Maxi Fire. Tom Manson struggled mightily in racing in the Chicago-style track. This could be an opportunity for him, a guy who is used to racing in muddy conditions. But right now, Ryan Anderson taking a small lead in the final turn. You don't want to give Ryan Anderson an inch, and Tom Mentz does. And Ryan Anderson is the winner, moving on to the next round. Only one more race here in round number one remains before we get to the second round. And this last race here is between Kristen Anderson in Gravedigger and Jamie Garner in Overboard, who's bringing out the good old regular, more modern day Chevy body for this weekend, not going with the square body. Kristen Anderson all over the place, a driver who has probably never driven in the mud before. It is showing, and her lack of experience will cost her a race tonight as Overboard is moving on. Now we set ourselves up for the second round of racing here in the near lane. It is Tom the Duke in Monster Energy. The far lane, that's Cole Vennard in Black Pearl. TIAA Bank Field so far having an interesting night of racing. So close, and over the first jump, they both have weird jumps and are pretty dead even. Going over the final jump, your winner is Cole Vennard in Black Pearl, as he will walk out of here with a victory, moving to the semifinals. Now in the near lane, we have Barry Musauer and Zombie as he is taking on Adam Anderson in Megalodon. The rain is still coming down a little bit too, so the track is not really going to get the chance to dry out. Adam Anderson, though, lots of experience on muddy tracks. We'll see how that'll help him out here, as he and Barry Musauer pretty close, both with some struggles so far on this track, but Barry Musauer capitalizing and walks away with a win, taking down Adam Anderson. A great race from Barry Musauer to take home that victory. An easy win for Musauer. Next up here we have Corey Rummel in Rage taking on Ryan Anderson in the Dragonoid. Corey Rummel loves to go fast throughout the turns, but fast might not be good here for Corey Rummel. He might get a little too fast and can spin out. A guy who doesn't like to lift going through the turns in a slick track, that might end up leading him to disaster. And right now, it is certainly not helping him as Ryan Anderson has a lead. As you see, Corey Rummel just going so wide, and indeed it does hurt him trying to be too fast. And Ryan Anderson in the Dragonoid is going to the semifinals. We are almost into the semifinals as well. Just one race stands between us and the Final Four. In the near lane in that final race of round 2 is Jamie Garner in Overboard, and in the far lane, it's Bryce Kenny in the Mohawk Warrior.
Yeah, race is right over there.
Jamie Garner trying to get a big win here. He has not had tons of success in racing this year. Bryce Kenny has had a lot. So this is a big race for both of these drivers. Bryce Kenny spinning very wide. This is Bryce Kenny's first race of the night. 4 drivers with automatic buy runs in round 2. That probably actually will hurt them more than anything. And it's showing now Jamie Garner with the track having a race under his belt, but he has a mistake, and it's close to the line. And right at the end, your winner, Mohawk Warrior. A very close finish, which will lead us into the semifinals here. Such a close race.
Bryce got it. We just got done.
So we are now in the semi-final round of Monster Jam action. Well, we are now in the semifinals, and only 4 drivers have powered their way through this slick track. In the first race, we have in the near lane Bari Musauer and Zombie, and in the far lane is Colvinard and Black Pearl. Both of these drivers have looked good tonight. Colvinard seemingly looking just, this has been a good night for him. He has been pretty much cruising, but right now Bari Musauer taking a lead, and Colvinard with a big mistake after that second jump. We'll see if Musauer can take advantage, and it is all Bari Musauer. An easy victory going to the final round for the first time this year. Now we have one more matchup here in the semifinals. Now the winner of this pairing here will face Zombie in the final round. Ryan Anderson, Dragonoid, Bryce Kenny, Mohawk Warrior. The winner will get a chance at winning 12 points on the road to the overall event championship. Bryce Kenny with a mistake, and he is all over the place. A lot of ground to make up for the Mohawk Warrior, and Ryan Anderson just really needs to cross the line, and he does. Ryan Anderson is going to the final round.
I hope Bari gets
What a matchup we are going to have here in the final round. Fans, 12 trucks, we are down to 2. It is time for the final round of Monster Jam Racing. Let's see who we are going to be watching in this final round.
My entire hoodie is
in the far lane, he has been smooth all night, has taken out some heavy hitters in his first final round of the year. This is Bari Musauer in Zombie. Bari Musauer is going to have a difficult matchup because in the near lane, the 2-time World Finals champion who has also looked very smooth tonight. Both of these drivers tackling this slippery track fairly well, but in the near lane, it's Ryan Anderson in the Dragonoid. Both of these drivers have maneuvered their way to the final round in a very difficult condition tonight on this racing track as Ryan Anderson sets himself up for a first win of the night, and so does Bari Musauer. Musauer looking for his first racing win of the year. They're getting ready for them to pull up to the line. Once both drivers get up to the line, they are going to get the green light and get the chance to start and fight for a final round trophy. The winner not only takes home a nice trophy, but takes home 12 points on the road to the overall event championship. So much riding on this race because both of these drivers are currently also fighting for a points tour. Ryan Anderson leading the tour entering the day. This is a very big event for both of these drivers. They are pulling up to the line. We are about to go green. Jacksonville, are you ready for the final round? They are off, and the final round is commenced here in Jacksonville. Both drivers smooth entering the first turn, but Bari Musauer going a little bit wide entering the turn. Ryan Anderson has a lead, and Musauer is slipping around. Ryan Anderson with an open door to take home a racing win tonight. Going to the final jump, and Ryan Anderson, as if there's no mud on the track at all, just breezes through and wins racing today.
You saw Ryan won racing?
Bari Musauer, unfortunately, not even close to winning that race, but a win for Ryan Anderson will lead him into the skills competition. And keep in mind, the skills competition is going to be Ryan Anderson as well. So the skills competition does go to Ryan Anderson. So he won the first 2 events of the night, which now leads us into the Monster Jam freestyle competition. And as you all know, a slippery freestyle competition is always tough for these drivers. But starting us off, no one better than Jamie Garner and Overboard. He's had a lot of experience on muddy tracks. We'll see what he can do. Jamie Garner and Overboard has led off some competitions very well so far this year. He is rocking another brand new body. This is his third body of the year. Looking solid. Oh boy, little hard hit. We would have had 4 bodies from Overboard if there was that show on Valentine's Day. He had a very beautiful pink body. I got the ability to see it. It was a gorgeous truck, and I really wish we got to see it in competition. But for right now, Jamie Garner has only shown the fans 3 bodies this year. But this is the classical Overboard body that he ran for many years, but he is trying to figure out this track. Really, this is the first opportunity for these drivers to feel out the mud, because they had to put a little sand on the track for racing, but they only put it in the parts where they would actually be driving. So the inside and outside corners of the track are still very muddy and very slick, so it's going to be tough for them to handle. And as you can see through the camera, it is still raining, so this is going to be a difficult freestyle, really, for anybody to get a good grasp. Jamie Garner, though, doing the tough task of leading off a muddy show. The longer the freestyle competition goes in a muddy event like this, the better, because it's going to loosen up some of that mud, unveil some of that dirt below, and make it a little bit easier for drivers coming out later. So Jamie Garner does have the difficult task of leading off such a really tough freestyle competition. And not to mention that this is also a very tough field of trucks anyway, so in general it would be tough to win. But when you're coming out in an event where you are at such a massive disadvantage coming out first, Jamie Garner is doing a very nice job. Now keep in mind, Ryan Anderson did win the skills competition. He also won racing, but he did not get the chance to compete here in freestyle today. Unfortunately, no chance at a triple down. Not a triple down yet this year. Jamie Garner just kind of throwing the truck around. I mean, the momentum, this is really solid for a muddy track. It's probably going to get beaten later on because the air hasn't really been there, but he seems like, and he does, fill the clock. Getting some more nice air right after the time, so the fans getting a taste of what is to come here in freestyle. The score for Overboard is a 6.087. Now freestyling in a home that her father dominated in for many years, it's Kristen Anderson, Gravedigger. So as we have with every single freestyle competition, there's a checklist that you need to take and check off boxes for in order to win freestyle today. Once Kristen makes that first hit, we'll start talking about it. So in order to take the lead away from Jamie Garner, you need to fill the clock, have very good momentum, and have some okay air. And I think if Kristen Anderson could do that, the lead should be hers. And this is a night, I mean, honestly, when you look at an event like this, any muddy show is anybody's game. You can see any driver winning a muddy event, because all you need to do is just have the 2 minutes, have solid momentum and some solid air, maybe even if you get a wow moment in there. I mean, attempting a backflip in a muddy event is something that you really don't see either, so that could really boost your score. We'll see what Kristen Anderson can do so far in the hunt for her first competition win in her stadium career. And again, an open door for her to do so. She's coming out second, which will probably hurt her. And she's really still just looking to get herself, really get her feet wet here at the stadium level. So if she can pull out a win tonight, that'll be huge for her, getting some solid air. But like I said, anybody's game. And we've got some real veterans that are used to muddy tracks coming out later that probably will have this thing down pat. Kristen Anderson kind of slipping around, and as I mentioned, this is also her first ever show in the mud. So this is a really big struggle for her. Is she lining up for the mini flip? Kristen Anderson's going for the mini flip here. In the mud, I mean, she's going to have to recenter herself, so a lot of wasted time here. Here she goes, lining up for the mini flip ramp. Oh my goodness, and she got it! Perfect! How about that? I said it's important to hit the backflip. She does. She might end up being the only one to do that at the end of the night. She's still got a little less than 30 seconds on the clock to tear it up. I mean, she is giving it full throttle right now, trying to just make something out of this muddy track. She's kicking up mud everywhere, hitting the jammer, cross-threading things. Just a smooth freestyle from Kristen Anderson. She will wrap it up, and I will say that was a ragged edge freestyle. She checks off all the boxes and then some, and she will take the lead with an 8.963. Freestyling third tonight, this is the Mohawk Warriors. Bryce Kenny is going to get that Mohawk a little bit out of shape here in the mud. A rainy night, never good for a Mohawk. Bryce Kenny hitting that racing lane. So Kristen Anderson taking the lead with a very solid score. So we've got an updated checklist. You're going to need to fill the clock, have great, incredible momentum. You just need to be ragged edge. I mean, I would say in a night like this, great momentum, ragged edge, a completed backflip, and 2 minutes on the clock. And in a money night like tonight, that might be very difficult to do. So Kristen Anderson in a smooth spot to possibly take home her first ever stadium freestyle win. Bryce Kenny, though, coming out third, wanting to put a stop to that, not wanting to get her hopes up. He is looking to take over that lead pretty quickly. Bryce Kenny, a very good freestyler. And I mean, Bryce Kenny is a guy who is just, he's going to throw down 2 minutes. And on a muddy show like this, he hasn't had tons of muddy events as a driver. And the more muddy shows you go to, the more likely you are to just be comfortable with it when it comes around. And it will show as we go throughout the night the drivers that are more comfortable than others. I mean, Kristen Anderson in her first ever muddy event looked like she's been driving in it for years. I think a lot of that comes from her brothers and her father, people who have driven in the mud for their entire lives. I mean, they basically were born in the mud. As Bryce Kenny, though, showing that he has some experience on muddy tracks. He's looking fairly comfortable out here. But as you can see, bumping into obstacles, it's because you just don't really know how to properly set yourself up. You can't even really see the jammers over there, but he does hit them. And it's just a matter of making moves out of something that is really tough to do. You can't really get big air in the mud. You can't really get a save, because if you go for a save and you spin over, as you see there, he hits the backflip, also a sign of some muddy inexperience. If you go for a save, the truck's oftentimes just going to bury itself into the ground. But Bryce Kenny getting some solid air in this freestyle. This has been the most air we've seen out of anybody tonight, but I didn't put air as a checkpoint, and he smacks into Black Pearl, and I think that's going to be the end of the run, and it is. So Mohawk Warrior, I would say the momentum, I don't really think he checked off any boxes, didn't fill the clock either, and it will show. It's a 6.411. Now fourth, this is Avenger. We have a better shot at this beautiful blue Avenger body. We'll get to see even more of it in the second show. That commentary, again, will be out on Sunday. Jim Kohler, this body that he drove in the Monster Jam World Finals a long time ago. Might have been World Finals 10, I think. I'm not too sure, but ever since then, he never really put it into retirement. He drives it around at a lot of independent shows. Jim Kohler getting some solid air. He needs to fill the clock, complete a backflip, go ragged edge, and have great momentum. Something that Jim Kohler might have a good time doing. Now the thing with Jim Kohler this year, he has been pretty much bringing out a new truck. Every single show this year, he has had a brand new body. He had the green body twice, but they were two different green bodies. They were not exactly the same. Oh my goodness, monstrous air. That is the biggest air of the night. And I mean, that wasn't massive air compared to a regular show, but for a muddy track, that's some big air. But every truck that Jim Kohler has ran out there this year have been trucks that he has been using consistently in independent shows. They're not trucks that we have either never seen before. They're trucks that he has been running at other events. Really, the only one that he hasn't been was that Avenger Fire body. That was the biggest surprise for me. But other than that, he has used all of these trucks in non-Monster Jam shows. Really, the only trucks that he hasn't used yet in this season that we have seen him use in the past are the Junker truck from World Finals 17 and the pickup body. So those are two trucks that I would say you could probably be on the lookout for. Most likely the Junker body next, and then probably a pickup body. But Jim Kohler getting some good air in this run. I would say that right now, I mean, he hasn't really checked off ragged edge, and I don't think the momentum's really there either. But he is going to need to go for a backflip, maybe even fill the clock. He might be going for the mini flip here. He is lining up for the mini flip. Jim Kohler, and he lands it as well. 2 backflips in a muddy show. How about that? And getting monstrous air at the end. But I have to say, he wasn't ragged edge, and I don't think he checked off the momentum box, and it will show in the score. It's a 7.773, so Avenger not taking the lead. Gosh, I just can't get enough of that beautiful Avenger body. It's great that he does something different every week. Excited to see what he brings out in Tampa, which is taking place tonight. Well, no, not tonight. Tomorrow night. Scooby-Doo is out now freestyling. She will have 2 minutes on the clock. Again, in case you didn't know, they have 2 minutes to do whatever they want here on this freestyle track. And in a muddy event, well, it's going to be interesting to see what she could do. Lindsay Reed, a World Finals freestyle champion, so she clearly has a great amount of skill here in this competition. Scooby-Doo will need to fill the clock, complete a backflip, be ragged edge, and have the momentum. Right now, she is far from any of those, so she's going to have to pick things up a little bit early on. And it does show a little bit here. As I said, it's going to show with every freestyle who is more comfortable with mud and who is not. And right now, it is pretty clear that Lindsay Reed does not have much experience in the mud and is not feeling fully comfortable in it, because she is certainly just kind of searching around, trying to figure out how to turn right, how much gas to give it in order to line up square for a jump. One of the most difficult things is just getting squarely lined up for a jump to hit it, which is why you don't see many people get big air, because oftentimes the faster you go, the more squirrely and offline your truck gets. But there she lines up and gets a big hit. It's really just a matter of who can square up the most jumps and get the biggest air in a run like this. But, I mean, Kristen Anderson certainly set the bar, completing a backflip in a muddy track. A lot of veteran drivers aren't comfortable doing backflips in a muddy setting. I mean, we've seen so many muddy settings in years past where we just see the veteran drivers like Tom Meents and Adam Anderson, they just go out there and freestyle. They don't really like to backflip, but now they might be forced to try it. So taking them a little bit out of their comfort zone could be something we have to watch for. Lindsay Reed lining up for the step up, and that jump is not very steep tonight. And again, because of the mud, you're not going to really get much air off of it. She now pins up against the backflip ramp. Right now, just kind of, I mean, she's not checking off any boxes right now. This is not going to take the lead unless she does something wild at the end here. Kind of just throwing it around, and she's just trying to get her literally feet wet as she fills the 2 minutes on the clock. That is the one box she will check off. So the total score is a 6.404. Scooby-Doo just out here to give the fans a good time. Now hitting the track, it is Tom Meents, Max D Fire. Out here in Jacksonville, a place that Tom Meents has been so many times before. He has brought Max D to Jacksonville for many years, getting some nice air. Tom Meents, the 12-time Monster Jam World Finals champion. And Tom Meents is no stranger to muddy tracks, so this could be a potential freestyle win for Tom Meents here, a guy who was really looking for a boost in points. Meents led the tour after the first couple of shows in Houston, but really has struggled since that last weekend in Houston to really get much of anything, and he's lost a big gain of points in the tour. Ryan Anderson has taken over the tour and is now the tour leader. So Tom Meents looking to get himself right back here in Max D Fire with 67 seconds left on the clock. Getting some big air over the jammer. I mean, for a guy like Tom Meents, in a muddy track like this, you have to seize every opportunity you get to get some big air, maybe a wow moment. Getting nice air, and as I mentioned, guys like Tom Meents and Adam Anderson, the veterans, oftentimes don't go for backflips here, and it's going to be important for him to try and do that, and if he doesn't, he's going to need to go insane. Oh my! Massive air, the biggest air of the night. That was launched. Tom Meents not afraid to go big. That is the one thing that has stayed consistent. As he's gotten older, his momentum's gone away, but his air has certainly picked up. Oh my, he is lining up for the backflip ramp. Tom Meents going for the backflip ramp. Over-rotates a little bit. Is that truck okay? Yes, it is. So a completed backflip for Tom Meents. He has 8 seconds left. One more move. Oh my goodness, monstrous air, Max D getting the biggest air of the night again, launching it, and will spin it into a donut right at the end of time. And honestly, it's up to the fans, because I think he just checked off every box. He filled the clock, completed a backflip. The momentum was okay, maybe didn't check off that box, but he was certainly ragged edge. The score to beat is an 8.963. The score for Max D Fire is an 8.849, so Gravedigger still sticking in the lead, but what a run from Tom Meents. As we progress through the freestyle competition here, Zombie, as you can see mud all over the body, is hitting the track here in freestyle. Made it to the final round of racing, and he will line up for that jammer to start off. Bari Musauer, no World Finals championships in his career yet, but this guy is one of the best to have never won one. I would probably put him in the top 5 as best Monster Jam drivers to have never won a World Finals championship. At the top of that list is obviously Mr. Neil Elliott, who we'll hopefully see some from a little bit here in 2021, maybe getting some second quarter activity. He's listed as potentially driving sometime in the near future, so you never know. We may see an appearance from Neil Elliott in 2021. He's not in the yearbook, but you never know what you're going to get. It's 2021, and as you learned in 2020, anything is possible. And in Monster Jam, there are currently only 12 Monster Jam drivers that are out here on the track. We are going to be seeing some more independents getting their chance to drive in stadiums as we are continuing throughout the first quarter here. It's crazy to think that we're already in March. I mean, 7-8 years ago, well, not even about that. I would say, back in 2018, it was, you were getting ready for the World Finals now. The end of March is World Finals time, and, we've had a lot of great shows. Yes, the season did start a little bit later this year, but they've had pretty much as many shows so far this year in the stadium level that they used to have maybe back in 2010 for a driver on a given tour. So it's just crazy to think that right now we normally, obviously in a regular year now, with the way that the World Finals was in 2019, we wouldn't be getting ready for the World Finals until May, but in a Las Vegas World Finals year and in a normal year, we would be amping up for the Monster Jam World Finals right about now. Bari Musauer, always a face at the Monster Jam World Finals. He's so good, and right now just throwing down a solid 2-minute freestyle. I don't think he's checked off any of the boxes. He probably will get that 2-minute box filled out as he is lining this donut up just beautifully. I think he's just going to go out and finish the time with one nice long backflip. The world record holder for the longest backflip, and I said backflip. The longest and best donut ever. Zombie with that world record, and, well, what a better way to end off his run. So Zombie will score 5.896. Unfortunately, it is last place, but hey, not much you could do here in the mud. Now it's Cole Vennard's turn to get a track shot. Cole Vennard is a solid driver. He has driven in some mud shows. He was at the one mud show that I was at in my life, where he was in the MetLife Stadium show in 2018. That very muddy show. That was one of the most muddy shows we've had in a long time. Normally, a muddy show in Monster Jam today consists of an event like this, where it's just, there's mud on the ground, it's not raining that much, but it's raining enough that it's a pain for the fans and that it just keeps the track wet so that you can't have a normal freestyle. But that show at MetLife Stadium in 2018 was, it was pouring the entire night. It was just soupy, the track. It was unbelievable. The drivers would land after jump and puddles would just explode. Cole Vennard right now doing a good job in freestyle. Some nice air there. The biggest air of the night definitely belongs to Tom Entz, but still your leader is Kristen Anderson. And Tom Entz threw down a really great freestyle and wasn't able to take it away from her. So the ability to come out first and have that ragged edge, she was just really ragged edge. The momentum was pretty good for her. That was just a really good run. Could win tonight. 40 seconds remain on the clock for the Black Pearl. Just a smooth run right now. I don't think he's checked off really any boxes, and as I've said, it shows the drivers that have experience in the mud. Cole Vennard, not tons of experience in the mud, but enough that he is able to throw down a smooth 2-minute run, but I don't know if it's enough to take the lead. Is he lining up for the backflip ramp? Oh my goodness, Cole Vennard going for the backflip, the 4th attempt tonight. Everyone has landed it, and Cole Vennard will land it and put it into a wheelie. He walked the plank, the first one of 2021. Cole Vennard's signature move. He walks a wheelie off of the backflip ramp, and a wow moment for Cole Vennard. Anything to hype up these fans. But he wasn't really ragged edge, and he didn't really have the momentum, so I do think that'll hurt him in the scores, but that's a pretty big move. His score is an 8.628, so not enough for the lead, but that is the first walk the plank of 2021 for Cole Vennard. So following up that big move from Cole Vennard, this is Todd the Duke in Monster Energy. We're winding down here, not many drivers left. There's only 3 trucks to go, including Monster Energy, so the final 3 here, the last 3 drivers had a shot to take down Kristen Anderson, who's just been there all night. And honestly, I'd say it's deserved. She had a very good run. It was overall, I mean, that was a textbook muddy winning freestyle, and right now it's going to be hard for anybody to take her down. I mean, we just saw Cole Bernard go out there and get a wow moment, and he didn't take the lead because the fans are really emphasizing that you need to beat her in all aspects of her game, and no one has. Oh boy, big air from Todd the Duke. And if you're not going to beat her in all aspects, you need to really excel in one of them. And so far, just nobody's done that. Todd the Duke and Monster Energy, though, having a solid run. I'd say he has probably had the best momentum we've seen so far out of anybody since then that could possibly take the lead. Having a nice run, but I mean, Kristen Anderson threw down that Ragged Edge Gravedigger freestyle, and that's what you want to see. She's a Gravedigger driver. She's going to go crazy just throwing the truck into obstacles, trying to make something out of nothing, and right now nobody has done that except for her. But Todd the Duke is getting good air as he launches over that racing lane again, a ramp that has gotten some drivers big air tonight. He's currently, I mean, he's not at Tom Bent's level, but he's had the second most air so far in the day. But the air isn't something that I prioritize as a checkpoint. And he is lining up for the backflip as well. This is the 5th one of the day. And he lands it in a muddy condition. Every driver to attempt the backflip has completed it. 5 of them. And now following it with insane air. I'm going to give him the momentum box. I think if he finishes this run very strongly, he might have a shot at taking the lead. Throwing the truck on top of that triple threat pod. Not one driver's flipped over tonight. Everyone has filled the clock except for Bryce Kenny, who smacked into Black Pearl. But what a run out of Todd the Duke. It's an 8.751, a phenomenal freestyle out of Todd the Duke and Monster Energy to just tear it up. Now freestyling last here in the freestyle competition is Adam Anderson in Megalodon. I know I said that there were 3 trucks left, but Ryan Anderson was one of them, and I forgot he's now freestyling. And Adam Anderson starts us off with a bang. Adam Anderson is coming off a freestyle win in the last event in Orlando. That's why he's coming out last. That is his first freestyle win of the year, and he is looking to knock his little sister out. And you know what? I'm sure he will be happy with either result tonight, wanting his sister to get her first big win. But you know Adam Anderson would love to rub it in her face that he took her down in freestyle, saying, you know what? You had your chance, but you didn't do good enough. And I'm sure that'll make Adam Anderson laugh very hard. It's a competition, though. That's what they're here to do. They're here to go against each other. They're here to beat each other. Big air. Adam Anderson, in order to take down his sister, needs to be Ragged Edge, have great momentum, complete a backflip, and do 2 minutes on the clock. So far tonight, we've seen 5 backflips, so clearly that is not a problem. I mean, the track, as I said in Jamie Garner's run, the track has gotten better as the night has gone on. It's not raining anymore, so the drivers are kind of just kicking that dirt around, making it a little bit easier to get traction and to kind of just smoothly get through the track. And Adam Anderson is very used to driving in the mud. He has driven in, I'm sure, 10s, maybe even 20s of mud shows in his lifetime. So this should be right in his alley, and it's really not even that muddy compared to some of the shows he has competed in. So this probably feels like a normal freestyle to Adam Anderson. I'm sure some of these drivers that have been in mud before, when they see that it's going to rain, they are beyond relieved when they see that this is the track they have to deal with, because this is nothing compared to some shows in the past. Right now, though, I'd say the momentum is there, but I don't think the Ragged Edge factor that we saw from Kristen Anderson was there. I mean, Kristen Anderson, the first driver to really hold the lead where I said Ragged Edge was something important. Adam Anderson with 10 seconds on the clock is going to get some sick air off the jammer, opting to do that instead of a backflip, and I mean, that's going to hurt him. I would personally deduct a lot of points for that, knowing that that is so important. He will hit the jammer one more time, comboing it up. This doesn't count for scoring, but what a move at the end of the time for Adam Anderson. So Megalodon going out with a bang, but I mean, the only box he checked off was filling the clock and having some good momentum. Megalodon scores an 8.170, so unfortunately, that is going to do it. So with that being said, a big congratulations to your freestyle winner tonight, Kristen Anderson. Her first major freestyle win and her first major stadium win of her career. Congratulations. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me.